Welcome. These recordings are snippets of conversation shared between friends who are walking together on the spiritual path. Many of them arise after periods of silent meditation, in moments of vulnerability, reflection, and shared intimacy. They're offered here for other friends who are also walking this path. May they serve as a quiet anchor for your own contemplative practice. The following reflection is called, "Let Me Be As I Am." Towards the beginning of that sit, I just kept hearing, let me be as I am. Just let me be it, let me be this. And I was having a really hard time with the tea. I wanted the tea to be something. And I was like, oh, this isn't what I wanted the tea to be. And then it kept coming, just let me be what I am. I could see, oh, this isn't what I wanted. This isn't like the way I wanted medicine to show up. This isn't the experience that I wanted to have. This isn't the way I wanted God to speak to me. And then I felt very transported back to the moment when Asha died. When I just kept saying, no, 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 no. And it felt like it was like, just accept me as I am. Like, let me be as I am. Let me be that, the fact that I come and I go. Let me be living and then dying. Let me be this tea that you don't want right now. See that the way that this tea is arriving is a way that if you had it the way you wanted, it would have never arrived this way. You wouldn't have seen that at all.
Yeah.
And all these things that you are afraid to lean into because you're afraid they're untrustworthy, I'm there too. And you're bracing yourself. But if you would just let me be as I am, even when things come in and you don't like what they are, or they make you feel like you have to brace again, maybe it's a challenging person or place or whatever, something you hear and you feel like you have to brace. If you could just lean into it, even though it's not what you want or like, if you lean into it, I'm there in it. So you may not like what's in your situation. You may not like your environment. You may not like what's happening, but you can be with me and I'm there already. I'm here. This is it. Like that. Let me be as I am, and I'm going to take on a billion different disguises. Can you just let me be that? And the parts of you that don't like and are resistant to parts of me, can you let those go? I could feel the pain in my shoulder. I could feel all like my holding patterns of restriction and tension, feeling like I have to make something happen or have something be a certain way for me to be okay.
Or tea to be deeper, whatever.
Yep.
I know we've heard this before in tea, with tea mystics. If you still need tea, then you haven't understood tea. That's a tough one, right? It doesn't mean that we can't have tea. We can certainly have our preferences for our method. But even if we try to exactly replicate the method, it turns into like a superstitious, overly ritualizing. We lose out on the aliveness. Yeah. God's not withholding, but we miss out a lot. Presence is always presencing itself as the very nature of the moment, beyond the appearances. And that one's, man, that one's so, what the moment appears to be like, sometimes when it's really like really beautiful, like when we were watching that sunset, and it appeared, God in that moment just appeared so beautiful. And we want to we want to hold on to that particular sunset, or that particular moment in that particular way, or wishing we had that home. You know, well, if we just had this home, then okay, then would be further on the path. We could rest easy. We'll let ourselves be more okay. And that's just, isn't that the story we tell? Oh, if we had Asha back then, we'd be, you know, oh, but it's happening right now. Like, well, imagine if one of us re-emerges with the infinite.
I wanted this tea to be something that this tea was never going to be, because that's not what this tea is. And if I would have tried to continue like making it into the tea I wanted it to be, I would have missed the tea that it is. And the tea that it is isn't the tea I like. It is good to see, oh, it's here too. It's just not the voice I prefer. If I were to give it a voice, it'd be like, this felt like grandfather being like a little intense. And I was like, I wanted grandma to wrap me in a cuddly blanket. And grandpa like to show me hard truths. And I know that it's like a big wave of compassion still, but it feels like felt like oh, this is God too, and everything's falling away. And I'm like, oh man. So it felt like a desert rather than a sunset. And I wanted it to be a sunset.
Yeah.
And it's okay that it wasn't a sunset. And that's what I was working on. It's okay, it's not a sunset. It's a desert, and God's here in the desert too. It's okay that it's barren. It's okay that it's not the hug you wanted. That's how it
Yeah. Okay, let's say there's this. I do this too. Let's say we have a problem. It seems to happen. You're walking around, and there's the problem. So something's not going the way you want it to go. You turn on the news. It shouldn't be that way. Shouldn't be that way. True, it shouldn't be that way, but it is that way. Yeah. We got a problem. We add on more problems onto the problem. We really tense up, as though being tense will somehow alleviate ourselves or maybe the problem. I don't know why we do that. I don't know why I do that. Oh, but there's some dysfunction that wants to play out and insists on holding on to that because it gives him a sense of identity. It's almost like our dysfunctions give us sometimes a sense of identity, and it feels like to that dysfunctional mind, when you let that go, you'll be nothing. You'll be annihilated. And it's true, the ego will be nothing, or at least revealed as nothing. And then we are who we really are. And who we really are just feels so simple and so ordinary. And imagine this tea. Of course, with a tea, you're just so simply who you are. And for whatever reason, you're offering yourself to us. So you can see why this could be like considered like a sacrament. It's offering its isness, saying, can you accept my isness for who I really am? And only who you really are can you accept who I really am. And that's why we could say, like, our true self, if we use the Christian language, the Christ self, we use Hindu language, Atman self. Cool. Buddha's no self. That self can accept the real self. It's almost like Christ can only accept Christ. So if we're not in touch with our true self, we can't accept anything. Nothing's ever good enough. We're never good enough, certainly. Nothing's ever going to be good, ever, ever. By that dysfunctional mind, nothing's good enough, which means we're always suffering. Or in Buddhism, the dukkha, the constant dissatisfaction. So even if we get what we want through our dukkha mind, never good enough. But when we get what we want through our Christ mind or Buddha mind, always good enough, because the reality of us is accepting reality on its terms. And the reality of God is always accepting. That's the gospel, right? That's the good news, I guess. If you want to say it that way, that God is always accepting, but God is accepting the reality of who you are. That's the way into the kingdom or the heaven. Is the ego can't get in because it's not reality. So when that non-reality comes into the face of light, it reality just shines on that non-reality and shows that non-reality is just not reality. And for whatever reason, there's a part of us that we get stuck in non-reality. And she's never good enough, and you're never good enough, and I'm never good enough. Nothing's ever good enough. And then there's this buzz of violence. We know that that's not our true identity. We know that. When we're afflicted, we know that's not who we really are. That authority that's naming us as that is not who we really are. That's why we have in the Christian language, you are who God says you are, and you are a beloved. You are beloved. You're loved. Not because you did something right, but because you are. So we don't have to be so scandalized by our sincere attempts or sincere imperfections. We also don't have to be scandalized when we slip into pure egoic, fear-based consciousness, anxiety, where we're just riddled by that. Sometimes you'll feel it in the middle of the night. You go to bed at night, you want to just put down the worries. It's another book, maps, and we collect all the maps. And these are wonderful maps, and they help you. You're like, oh yeah, that's right. Oh, how do I always forget? Oh no. Whew. I remember home, and it's in this map, and you go back to this map. Dang it, you read the same thing. I can't find it. Go to the next one. And there's nothing wrong with those. But you're not after that method. You're after that which is, which is the reality of realities, even while you're making use of your method. It's God that you want. That's what you really want. It's not even, if we got the perfect tea, we always got exactly what we wanted, what we think we wanted. You know, we got you got the house that you wanted. You got the whatever trap we get ourselves in. We think we get it. You got that. It won't get you there, not unless God is in that. And that's what we're after. So it's not more food that we need. And sometimes we do that. Maybe happiness is in the next overeating. I'm almost there. It kind of feels like you're getting somewhere. More popcorn. More movies, go up more. Or you binge watch something. It kind of feels like you're, it feels like you're getting the thing that you really desire. But what we really, really, really desire is the sacred. That's what all of us, everyone. Behind every addiction is a distortion gone weird. What they're really after is God. Remember before we met each other, man, if we just had a loving partner that really loved us and will love us for the remain, then we got it. And now we're still afflicted. Oh no, but I need more. You know? But remember how like, oh, like we thought, man, if we just got that, then we just, oh, dude, you know. But just look at people that run those stories. Man, if I just get my house paid off, we've met those type of people. Like, oh, if I just get my next $1,000,000. You've met people like that, very wealthy people. And then they come to you for spiritual guidance. Oh, man, oh, I don't know. What am I after? More money? Tell me the amount that'll get me enlightened. Is it $2,000,000? Maybe if I just get $2,000,000, I'll be enlightened. You know, we're all running around trying to find God in things that we can't get it from. And it doesn't mean that you can't get those things. It doesn't mean that you abandon your methods. But now we see the truth that is illuminating in that method that even allowed that method to be of value in any way. So God still wants to give us tea as a method, certainly. But now it's illuminated, so we're free of it, as now we can actually be with the presence that is more than just the physical properties of tea or the taste properties of tea or even the feeling properties of tea. And boy, it's a big undertaking. It feels like it. To be free. Where everything is like a ceremony. I like how Alan Watts kind of his contribution saying, oh, it's like God's like playing hide and seek. And also we're kind of playing hide and seek. Who am I? You know? And it's been said by all different traditions, the journey of finding out who God is and the journey of finding out who you really are one and the same thing.